Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on a Monday morning, the start to another great week, which meant some good hockey and basketball over the weekend in the final championship round. Both kind of, we expected both results, I guess. So we're going to have to do our NHL show shortly, but our NBA show, devastation for us Toronto fans last night. And it was coming out of the first half and the second half, 5-point lead, and then a 17-0 run by the Warriors. Then we ran it back down, and then we couldn't score a point for like 3 minutes. It was insanity.
Yeah, we look like Portland. If you watch the Portland series, that's what happened. You win 3 quarters, but you lose because that third quarter is Golden State's specialty.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Either they make adjustments faster than you in halftime, they come with more energy after halftime, but it's all a mystery, really, except for the fact that they've done it consistently. Like I said, that's exactly how a Portland game looked, and you lose by a couple baskets, and you go, man, we were close, or you lose by one basket, man, you were close, and it's just what they do. It's the most confusing way to play basketball. Disappointing the Raptors. You have a lead at halftime, you lose.
It's almost like New England. How many times does New England score in the last drive of the half and the first drive of the second half?
Interesting.
It's almost like they find a weak spot and take complete control. So it was really disappointing to get a loss.
And that weak spot was putting 2 bigs out there is really what the weak spot ended up being. Here's the thing, really. Our bigs got in foul trouble early. In fact, almost everyone got in foul trouble early. Everyone was at 3, 4 fouls. Well, what did Golden State do? Well, Klay Thompson went out even in the fourth quarter. If you want to talk about that, you talk about that. And what they did was they had 2 bigs up there in DeMarcus Cousins, who, by the way, hell of a game, back from a quad injury. And it wasn't necessarily the points. It was he had 10 rebounds. So he recorded a double-double there. And then even Bogut came in and got to the net. The fact is, they had 3 bigs, even if you count Draymond Green.
Yeah.
So really, they just out-rebounded you. They actually did your game kind of reverse, because normally that's how we beat them in game 1, was we had our bigs out there against their shooters, and that's how we sort of defended. And really, they just played too good defense when it came down to it. Even after the bad third quarter, at the fourth quarter, we stopped them for 5 minutes and 22 seconds. But then we didn't score for 3 minutes and 22 seconds of that 5 minutes that we stopped them. And that's all because of their bigs out there. Bogut, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins, they just played really good games. But that third quarter, really what it came down to was just simply, they just made shots. And what someone said when the Raptors won was, Pascal Siakam went off. Now, they all said Toronto would win again because they don't believe Golden State has that guy. Well, that Delvin Cook guy came in, and when the game was still semi-close, he came in and hit 3 threes in a row. That number 4 out there.
Yeah.
Iguodala hit a couple of threes, and they just went on a stretch where they didn't miss, and that's what they do. And here you are, 1-1. I think at the end of the day, you would have liked to be 2-0 because you've given Golden State home court advantage, and that hurts. But you can easily go 1-1 back in Oracle, and it's a must, honestly, if you want any chance in the series.
For sure you have to. Actually, I was listening to some people on the morning shows today that are like, oh, I'm okay going back 1-1. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm not, no.
You needed to be 2-0. In all likelihood, based on the history, they're going to win both games back in Golden State, right? Like, that's where the win. You had to be 2-0 in my mind. I think we're in serious trouble now. After the first game, I really thought, and for half of the second game, we were up by 12.
Yeah.
Very close to the half. That's why I kind of reference it to New England Patriots. They kind of got 7-point run right at the end to get down to 5. We're still okay. We're saying, okay, well, that happens. But boy, the start of the second half, man, it was 17-0 run, and you're going, what the hell is going on here? And we couldn't shoot a basket. We were actually, you could see the nerves. We were short on many shots.
I think the nerves, but also I don't really like Nick Nurse. I feel like didn't really do what he did in game 1, which was he put McCaw out there for a little bit. He really mixed up the lineup. He threw a bunch of different formations at Golden State.
Yeah,
I felt like because Golden State, one thing Golden State did was Steve Kerr played, I think Steph Curry played about 40 minutes, like close to that number. So Steve Kerr really goes, I'm going with my starters. I'm going 1-1 back to our hometown. Well, that almost got Nick Nurse not to make switches that he made in game 1. And really, he didn't keep guys fresh out there. He didn't put in these random guys that we were going, who is he? Why is he in the game? I just felt like he panicked. The team panicked. And then when you get down, it's easier then to regroup and when they got down by 7 and 8, they kind of regrouped and got it close again and had a chance to tie the game. But, it was just tough. I would have had Danny Green out there a little more because he's been shooting it pretty well. He hit a big 3 at the end of the game. I would ride him a little bit in game 3. hopefully he can go off for a huge one. I just don't know. It seemed like the whole organization of Toronto Raptors kind of panicked, and part of it, I think, was the refereeing. It was pretty brutal, to be honest with you, and it was tough with all our players under foul trouble. I think that was definitely part of it.
Well, yeah, I think there's times the league has to look at stuff. They put every one of our stars 2 and 3 fouls. Early. I mean, a lot of the guys were first quarter, and they're sitting on 3 fouls. Like, it was, I mean, what's his name? Lowry, of course, he was in trouble really early, as he was in an earlier game.
I mean, Siakam's defense looked soft because he had 4.
Yeah.
And really what people don't understand, if you don't know the really interior of basketball, is you do have to be careful when you got 4 fouls. You can't play the same defense, because defense is meant to be physical, but they want to give the defensive guy more fouls than the offensive guy. So that affects your defense, and that's why I was kind of shocked Nick Nurse didn't switch up and put some guys in there. I would have let Powell play a little bit longer. I would play McCall a little bit longer. Let him get physical with Curry. No one was physical with those guys because they couldn't be. They were worried about fouls. I think it hurt us on the rebounding standpoint that are 2 bigs, especially Marcus Gasol had foul trouble. Serge Ibaka had 3 fouls in like 6 minutes, so he was in foul trouble. So on the rebounding side, that also really hurts you. I don't know. I don't know what we could have done. But I just felt like not trying to switch it up and put guys in there that could afford fouls to play more physical defense is why we struggled. And then guess what? Why do you think our defense played good at the end of the game?
Yeah.
All of a sudden they go, guys, at the end of the game now, we can't worry about fouls.
Foul out,
And they shut them down. Like, that's what you were supposed to do. So in my mind, that proves you have to have guys out there, no matter whether they're your stars or not, guys who aren't afraid of fouls, because in the end, the defensive end is going to be looked at as calls for fouls, and we played weak because of that fear.
Yeah, that's a great point. On my point, I thought they went a little soft when they're ahead by 5. It looked almost protective to start the second half, right? And I'm thinking of, we remember our Maple Leafs in hockey, 7th game up 4-1, go into that kind of shell, try to protect more than score. And it looked like, and I think you're right around it being the fouls that caused that, maybe not nervousness, but the actual fouls. And they really just shot horrible in the offensive end.
But they also wouldn't drive. So you got fouls, too. They would not drive. I think part of that's fouls again. And here's when you notice you have fouls. Guess when you notice? At halftime. Because guess what? You go in and go, I got 3 fouls.
Yeah.
Like, you start to realize that. And I think that's what happened in that third quarter. We didn't drive. We played soft defense. I would have switched it up. I would have put someone who doesn't foul, just to get physical with Curry and Tom. I just didn't like it. We
talked about that in the Milwaukee series, right? It's a little bit of a hockey mentality.
Yes.
You take guys who have been on the bench. You're not looking for them to score. You're already in the lead. Put them out there to start the third quarter and just pound these guys, because you can take some fouls. I mean, this is, you can get them. Once you're in the bonus, you're in the bonus, so whatever. But you need guys to go out and be physical with a guy like Curry, especially Thompson. You got to go out and make these guys feel the pain of the game.
And if you get in the bonus, that's fine. It's only 2 shots, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'll take them slowing the game down and having to go to the line, take 2 shots instead of hitting transition
threes they're hitting,
and getting on fire. When they hit threes, everyone else starts to hit threes.
Yeah.
I didn't like the coaching. OG Anunoby did not play. Here's my thing. People are going to say, well, we're not sure if he's ready. Then don't dress him. In my mind, if you're dressing him, put him in the game. He's a great defender. He's long. He's big. I would have given him some minutes. So for me, I'm gonna blame Nick Nurse on this.
The funny part was opposite of the Milwaukee series when we were upset how often he pulled the stars and put the bench in. Then in a game like this where they're all in foul trouble and we need that game, and you can't afford to get weary. And it looks like they went out in the start of the second half, and like I say, they were completely timid. We just stood back. It was the Warriors dominated that whole period of time. 20 or 17-point run. And we were doing nothing about it. Our shooting looked nervous. We looked nervous at the defensive end, either soft because of fouls or just soft because, wow, we have the lead again at halftime. We got a shot at winning this. And they kind of went, oh, our defense is the best thing we do. Yeah. So we're going to play defense and we're not going to play offense. And that's the way it looked. And all of a sudden, boy, you're down by 12. Then they played their regular game to get back in it within 2 and then couldn't hit a freaking shot for 3 minutes. Like, we stopped them completely, get within 2, and can't make a basket to save our lives.
Here's my thing. You either blame Nick Nurse or you give Steve Kerr credit. What does Steve Kerr do? He left his stars out there. I think that made Nick Nurse go, I can't put anyone else in right now.
Right.
Klay Thompson and Steph Curry played together a lot last night. Yeah. And that was basically Steve Kerr's sign, I'm playing my guys. Like, I got to go home 1-1. So you either blame Nick Nurse
That's actually a good point,
for panicking and leaving the stars out there because those stars were out there, or give Steve Kerr credit for giving the rookie head coach a test. And that was, in my mind, that was a test. Steve Kerr, like I said, I've said it like 3 times already. He just let him out there. He goes, hey, you're going to have to beat my 2 stars.
Yeah.
And then that, in my mind, made Nick Nurse panic and leave his starters out there, not allowing the guys on the bench to come in, provide some energy, play physical defense because they wouldn't have fouls. And at the end of the day, I think that's why, even though we played good defense in the last 5.5 minutes there, we couldn't score. No one had legs.
Oh my
no
God,
one could go to the
unreal.
net. They're expanding so much energy on the back end to play this tight defense. They couldn't get anything going. So, in my mind, I would have looked at it more as a coaching win for Steve Kerr and a rookie coach, I think, panicking under didn't know what to do with the rotation of Golden State last night.
No, I think you're probably right. That's a great analysis. I think we saw that exactly happen. But you know what? In the end, we still showed we can beat them. We actually had the lead.
You know what? Yeah.
We actually came back. We actually could have beat them and should have beat them at the end of the game. Like if we made any shots, oh my God, we missed layups, we missed threes. Everybody was short on the basket. You could see the nerves. They kind of got back into it because they were loose because we were down by 12. And they're kind of like, okay, well, we got to go shoot now. And they did. And it was like the minute they got close, where in game 1, almost looked like there was more pressure on us to win game 2 than there was to win game 1. They really got nervous at periods of times.
I think going up 2-0 is tough against a desperate Golden State team. But I think it was also, man, you go up 2-0, you're right. That's bigger than going up 1-0.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Winning game 1, Toronto looked like they never panicked, just continued. But they had 10 guys playing, right? And they were just going. I think game 2, they kind of went, oh my God, we could be up 2-0 against the champs.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, and here's the biggest thing too, and it's weird to think this, but it might have popped in one of their heads. You can't lose the NBA Finals if you go up 2-0. Like, you cannot, there's no excuses for losing. And I think 1-1 now, I think they'll go 1-1 in Oakland because I don't think they'll win game 3, to be honest, but I think game 4, all of a sudden they'll come back to being the underdogs, which they were in Milwaukee, they were in Philly, and I think they'd almost come back and win game 4. It'll be interesting, but here's 2 things. One is if you're Toronto, you go, hey, we stopped them for 5.5 minutes near the end of the game. If it wasn't for a big third quarter, we won 3 to 4 quarters. But the one thing you did was you gave Golden State going, guys, not even playing good, out on the road, only scored 106 points, and we're 1-1 going back.
Yeah.
That's a worrisome to give them that confidence.
I agree.
And that feeling. And at the end of the day, Klay Thompson didn't even play the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I don't know. You kind of give yourself some positive vibes. You can easily look at some stuff there. But Golden State's looking at some stuff too, going, holy smokes, we're comfy here.
Yeah.
We're comfy.
There's no doubt they are, and that's why they're champions. No doubt about it. They took a game again, second game they didn't really deserve.
No.
And they took that game away from the Raptors. So, good for them. That's what champions do. Back to Golden State for game 3.
And lastly, injuries though. Klay Thompson did not play.
Yeah.
That is something to talk about. He might not play game 3. Kevin Durant's coming back. They said game 4 for sure. They might make a game 3 if Klay can't go.
He can't go, yeah.
And Andre Iguodala did play last night. He only had 8 points. He's a little ineffective. So Boogie Cousins has become very important, but he's an injury-prone guy. So still going to be a lot of question marks going forward. You just got to keep plugging away. But I don't think you can not have that tough defense. I think if you're Nick Nurse, the one adjustment he's going to look at in film is
he's going to have to.
Whether or not they're my best guys or not. I need guys who can be physical in the defensive end. And he trusted those guys in game 1. No sense not to trust them in game 3 coming up. And I would play OG Anunoby. He's telling you he's healthy. He's putting on a uniform. In my mind, that means, coach, put me in the game, and he's a valid player in that situation.
Well, I think that's a great point. I think maybe Nick Nurse went, holy shit, we could go up 2-0 there.
No doubt.
And it's almost like I need to leave my stars out there because if I make a change right now and it goes bad, it's tough on me as the coach.
But I still think it came down to him panicking, going, he saw Curry and Thompson just out there. And I just don't think he had the guts to put him back up. Yeah. And you're right.
He didn't want to have to answer for it the next day.
Because if you took Leonard out, you took Lowry out, you would have heard it from us. We would have been like, what are they doing? We were up by 12.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him. He really had a no-win situation when you're up at halftime.
That's what coaching's all about.
Yeah, that's the job.
You got to do that. So anyway, the good thing is another exciting basketball game. Great to watch. Great for the game itself. Certainly great here in Toronto in our country. The fans were out amazingly. I haven't heard the total yet, but it has got to be well over 100,000. There was 2 or 3 more cities out last night that are doing it.
Real quick, you had Toronto, Mississauga, Saskatoon, Halifax, and Vancouver. So shout out to those guys. Honestly, the support is truly remarkable, and the players are feeling it. So be proud. Watch some interviews. Hear them talk about it. They know it. They feel it. They see it. So be proud.
However, I will say that it's about winning. And we brought Leonard in to win.
Right.
And about 4 or 5 years ago, the Blue Jays, our baseball team, went out and did the same thing.
True.
Paid buckets of money.
True.
Brought guys in for 1 year. David Price, 1 year.
True.
Bring them in. The idea is to win the World Series, and we didn't get it done. We made the playoffs, but that's not why you do this. This is not why we could have made the playoffs without Leonard, without some players.
They made the conference finals with DeRozan.
Right, you go get that guy.
Extra
as far as I'm concerned, anything but the championship is a loss this year. I don't care about everybody go, oh, we're so proud. Oh, we're so happy to be. That's the problem. We're just so happy to be there. In my mind, we're not happy to be there. We need to win. I know Leonard's now starting to edge towards possibly signing, which would be great. It would smooth out or soften the blow of not winning this year.
It would make it a win-win if he signs. Even
if they don't win this year, to know we got him back next year, I'd be satisfied. But that's not why we got him.
No.
It was a one and done.
Right.
We got him to win this championship. This team needs to take hold of that. We must go 1-1. If we don't go 1-1, Golden State's all over.
Well,
we have to go 1-1 in Golden State. That's their job.
Who's the last one to give up a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals? But let's not talk about
the World
Toronto.
Championships.
Go get Game 3. At the end of the day, we beat Golden State by 25 points in Golden State. They had a full lineup. We did not have Kawhi. We can do it. And lastly, and we should wrap it up on this, the people in attendance last night were awesome. You had a bunch of golfers because of Canadian Open. You had Drake, obviously. But Barack Obama was in the building, guys. Barack Obama.
Your reputation, you're growing.
I think this shows a tremendous win in Canada, the tremendous support in Canada, the want to have a team of the Toronto Raptors be so successful.
Yeah.
He didn't have to come. I'm glad he came. I think he has a close relationship, to be honest, with Masai Ujiri. I think they sat together and they sat with the commissioner too. But this is what it matters to have.
Still a big deal for him to go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you're the former president, 44th president. That shows you how important getting teams from different countries to play in a league together is. It matters, and it's great to see that. And I just wanted to give President Obama a shout out. I thought that was really cool for him to stop in.
Well, it was massive in the city. Everybody was talking about it. It was insane.
We're not even American, but we know you, and we know that America essentially is the most powerful country in the world. So to see the support from one of their leaders at some point is really, really cool. And obviously, he's probably the coolest president maybe ever. And he knows the game.
Chill.
Yeah, chill.
Just coming out to the game
great
was
family.
nothing, right?
So it was really awesome though for him to take the time.
Yeah.
You don't understand what it probably still took, even though he's not president right now, to come and make sure security was okay. And so I just wanted to give him a shout out. Thanks for coming.
And,
it was a big moment.
And also give it to the Raptors because their security, former presidents are still under security. And everywhere they go, they need to be protected. And so even for the Raptors, when you're thinking about the fact you've got the playoffs going, you've got all this stress going, you got all this Jurassic Park going, it was probably still a lot of work for them to accommodate this to happen. So anyway, shout out to everybody who made that happen because I think it was really cool. The fans went crazy. At the
end of the day, athletes are athletes.
Yeah.
But someone who ran the biggest country
in the world,
him to care enough to stop in, and his team's not. He had to mention though his team's not even playing. His team's the Chicago Bulls, but he still stopped in. So I just think it's really cool, and it was a big moment for us. People don't understand how much obviously we depend on America, so it was really cool.
Well, we spent 6 months there,
and we spent 6 months there. Yeah,
we're kind of split. Yeah. So we follow it. We love it all.
Yeah.
We went down to the States probably the last 5 years, I guess. Yeah. So we've been close to that. I thought it was cool, and we're looking forward now. I think as we kind of more of a basketball feel going back to that. It's going to be interesting to see how we react to that because the emotions here have been over the top. So now we're going back to what will just be what Golden State's done for 5 or 6 years now, right?
Golden State can be as hostile as us because they've been there so many times.
Yeah, it's
pedestrian.
Yeah,
I mean,
great word. That's what I was looking for.
They're going to be loud, but it's still pedestrian. And really, the reason why pedestrian isn't good is because if their team gets down, they won't care. If the team gets up, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Until they win the championship in Golden State, that's why we talk about expectations.
Yeah.
Their expectations is trophy or whatever, right? So it's going to be a little bit more pedestrian in Toronto. They might be able to focus and actually play basketball. I think they'll get a win there, so I'm not too worried. I think it will be 2-2. And, we'll see it going forward. But overall, disappointing result, but exciting night in Toronto.
Yeah, without a doubt. And in fact, it'll be interesting to see what happened here in the support. It'll be interesting to see whether the support goes up for the Warriors. It almost becomes a fan competition as well as a basketball competition,
an arena
right?
And got government
brand new arena,
city approval to actually have an area for their own Jurassic Park at the new arena.
Yeah, so there you
Will
go.
they try to create something for this one? I don't know, but I'm gonna blame myself because I put $1 on Golden State to win Game 1, so Toronto would win. I didn't do that last night.
So I didn't realize
I gotta
that.
I gotta put $1 on Golden State to win because I'm not very good. I'm bad. I'm the Drake curse. I'm the Drake curse.
Yeah, in the basketball.
Cheer for the other team. My team's gonna win. I don't know.
Anyway, great basketball as we talked about. Lots of stories to talk about. We're gonna leave it there for now. Be back on what's the next day? I didn't look.
It's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
They go Wednesday, Friday. So
yeah, right.
I'm happy about that because I feel like it's too much goddamn time off.
Yeah.
But Wednesday, Friday, so they'll go quick there in Golden State. A big question is Drake traveling.
I say Drake's not traveling. We're going to see him in Jurassic Park. That's what he did in the Milwaukee series. I think he'll do the same thing here. Rile up the crowd again so the Raptors can see it on TV. When they're there, they'll realize that they mentioned in the Milwaukee series that they saw Jurassic Park on TV and were just so amazed that they were on the road.
At halftime,
Nick had that kind of crowd, right?
At halftime in Game 5, apparently Nick Nurse put it on TV and said, guys, like, this is what you're playing for. Ignore this crowd. Look at that crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
And we went on to win that Game 5. So I think he tried to do the same thing again. They know we're out here supporting them. They know how much they mean to all of Canada. Kyle Lowry was talking about the other day how he was supposed to be here for 1 year, and he had guaranteed plans to leave. Like, he told his wife, don't even move. Don't bring the kids. Like, I'm just going to go for 1 year, and then I'm going to leave. And he ends up being here 7 years. His kids are in school. I think he says he lives in Oakville. I think he said, like, he lives a suburban life. Yeah. And he goes, so he's feeling it. Everyone's feeling it. So we're going to show up for Game 3. They know that. Maybe Nick Nurse can show them a little clip during out the game if they ever need more motivation. But they know we're there, and they got all of Canada on their side. So let's go get that Game 3. Yeah,
for sure. And we'll be back on Wednesday morning then and give you our update, injuries, whatever might be happening, our thoughts on who will actually win that game. We're kind of forecasting right now, but lots of changes. Durant in, out.
Forecasting.
Yeah, Durant in, out is going to be a massive deal. I am totally opposite of every sportscaster out there that believes if Durant comes in, we have no chance. I believe if Durant comes in, it heightens our chances because I've coached many hockey teams over the years, not basketball, hockey teams. Well, 5'6", nobody listened to me. 5'5" probably now. But I've coached lots of hockey, and putting a new person in, especially some of the dynamics that he has, what comes with him, not the passion, but all the drama, everything else that comes with him, I think this is going to hurt this team. I'm hoping for it to happen. Everybody else says he's so great that it doesn't matter. They can have all the drama. They will still win because of how great he is. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. We'll be back Wednesday morning to give you an update on anything we hear, injury-wise, whoever's in, Definitely. What kind of feel we're really getting for Game 3. And other than that, enjoy your day.